Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a zombie horror thriller film, The End. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Claudio is a young and successful businessman in Italy. One day, he goes to work in his car as usual. As the CEO, he has an important meeting to attend today. Unfortunately, the traffic is bad because of the rain. Claudio is anxious about being late for the meeting and takes it out on the driver. The driver tries his best to get him to the office in time. An intern receives him with a cup of hot coffee as soon as he enters the premises. Claudio's mood improves once his attention shifts to the hot intern, rather than the hot coffee. As they are talking and teasing, Claudio's ex-lover walks past him. He then follows her smelly hormones into the elevator. He tries to talk to her, but she doesn't seem to be interested. Claudio thinks she is playing hard to get, so he pauses the hormone-saturated elevator, in the hope that he can make out with her. She seemingly agrees, but deep inside, she knows he is just a playdog. He just wants to have some random hormone games with her, and has never been serious. She stretches his hot dog long enough to cool it down while he is not paying attention, and she just walks out of the elevator, leaving him alone in there with a cold dog. Claudio has to give up, and presses the button to the top floor where the meeting room is. Suddenly, the elevator breaks down for no reason. Claudio is trapped, but he is as calm as his cold dog right then. He presses the alarm button, waiting for help. The security guard talks to him through the emergency intercom that something went wrong with the power on the roof, and asks him not to worry. They should be able to get him out within 5 minutes. Claudio has to wait patiently. While waiting, he receives lots of phone calls, most of which are from his family. His secretary also calls him to urge him to attend the meeting. Claudio asks for the maintenance staff's number, and complains to him. The maintenance staff asks him to wait a bit longer. Before he can finish his words, Claudio hears a scream from the other end, and the phone hangs up. Claudio doesn't know what happened, and calls the emergency intercom again. The security guard can feel his anger, and tries to calm him down, asking him to watch some Daniel CC horror movies for fun, and saying that he would come in person to see if he can help. The clock ticks away very quickly. Still, nobody comes or calls him. He has been trapped there for hours, with nothing he can do, not even Daniel CC hormone movies to chill up. He realizes he can't just sit and wait to be rescued, so he decides to get out by himself. So he takes off his jacket, and tries to open the doors with his hands. He pushes the doors aside as hard as he can. Finally, he opens it a crack. However, something sticks in the top of the doors. He can't open the doors wide enough for him to get through, not even for his small dog. He looks out through the crack. There is nobody that he can ask for help from. He then tries to squeeze out sideways, but it doesn't work. Claudio gives up. He shouts for help for a long time and no one answers. He becomes edgy and frustrated, pacing back and forth. Just then his phone rings. It is his wife, telling him that somehow lots of people are gathering outside of the house, and keep knocking at the door. She called the police, but no one answered. She is very scared, and hopes he can come back home. Claudio explains that he is trapped in the elevator, and nobody comes to help him out, so he can't go anywhere. He asks his wife to lock the doors and windows. He tells his wife not to worry, and he will send his friends over to have a look. Then he calls his friend, telling him his wife's situation. His friend agrees to go and check on his wife as soon as possible. Claudio takes out a cigarette and browses news on his phone. All the reports are about chaos, violence, and the police putting up blockades to contain it. While he is wondering what is going on outside, he hears a group of people running past the elevator, crying for help and despair. He looks out and sees his ex-lover fall down in front of the elevator. She looks frightened. She holds his hand, fortunately not his dog, and asks him to pull her inside. However, before he can ask her what is happening, she is dragged away by something. Claudio feels strange and a bit scared. He wants to see what is outside. Suddenly, 2 fierce-looking zombies appear at the doors. Startled, he steps back and falls to the ground. He cries for help. Luckily, the zombies can't get through the crack, which saves his life. After a while, the zombies are distracted by the cries of other people, and they leave. Right then, Claudio's phone rings again. It is from his friend, who tells him that people in the city have gone crazy. The streets are in chaos. His friend's car is stuck, and he doesn't know when he can get to his house. However, before his friend finishes talking, Claudio hears him screaming at the other end of the phone. It seems something has happened to him. Claudio presses the emergency intercom again, and asks somebody to come to help him quickly. Another security guard picks up the phone. Before the security can say anything, Claudio hears him screaming in pain. Claudio doesn't know what to do. He starts to call every number in his contacts, but no one answers. Claudio now believes what the news says is true. The city is full of zombies. To his surprise, his secretary calls him back. Before he can answer it, a hand grabs him by his tie, but spares his dog. It then pulls him hard towards the doors. Claudio feels lucky for the dog mercy. He then looks back and sees that it is his ex-lover again, who has turned into a zombie. He struggles to get rid of her stretching. He takes the handrail down and uses it to attack her. After killing her, he pushes her body aside with the handrail and uses his documents to cover the blood on the floor inside the elevator. Claudio notices somebody is standing outside of the elevator. It is the hot intern that spoke to him earlier. Somehow she has managed to survive and is hiding here. Claudio asks her to get him out of the elevator and he will help her escape. The intern agrees and tries to squeeze the doors open with her body fat. However, no matter how hard they try, the doors won't open. Claudio is upset and throws the handrail on the floor. However, the noise draws the zombie's attention. The intern has nowhere to hide, but tries to get into the elevator. However, the gap is not big enough for her fat body. She picks up a stick and kills a zombie. More zombies are coming for her. She is outnumbered. Soon she is attacked and bitten by the zombies. Claudio can't do anything but watch her die. Devastated, Claudio collapses. He picks up his phone on the floor. All the news is about zombies. He remembers his wife who is still at home and calls her. He is heartbroken when he hears his wife being attacked and screaming on the phone. Later, two of his colleagues, a male with a big beard and a female, come to the elevator. They can't get inside the elevator or help get Claudio out. Claudio just sits and watches them being attacked by the zombies, emotionlessly. He has given up completely. When he sees a zombie wandering outside the elevator, he shouts out and attracts the zombie to him. He teases the zombie because he knows the zombie can't get him. After a while, the power to the whole building shuts off. Claudio hears a whistle, which draws all the zombies' attention. Moments later, he hears some shots and the zombies are killed. A policeman, who got separated from his teammates, appears. Claudio asks the policeman to help him out. They try a few times, but in vain. The policeman suggests getting the electricity back first. That is the only way to get the elevator back to work. He leaves a gun and a walkie-talkie with Claudio, then goes to the top floor to find the generator. Claudio guides the policeman to the location of the generator through the walkie-talkie. The policeman turns the generator on, and the elevator works again. However, the doors are struck by something on the edge, and still can open. While he is trying to reach it, zombies gather at the doors, and try to get him. Claudio has to step back. He shoots at a zombie but misses. He stays in the corner, and doesn't dare to move, worried that he might be bitten by the zombies if he is too close. The policeman calms him down, and encourages him to shoot again. This time he kills all the zombies at the doors. Meanwhile, the policeman encounters some zombies on the roof too. Hearing the policeman scream through the walkie-talkie, Claudio cries in anger and grief. Even though the policeman is strong, Claudio doesn't think the policeman will survive this. Except for being angry, he can't do anything about it. He looks at his wife's pictures on his phone, thinking that his friends, colleagues, and families may have died. Tired, he falls asleep in the elevator. A while later, when he wakes up, he watches the door that would never open, and decides to kill himself with the gun. Just then, he hears the policeman calling at him from the top of the elevator. He cheers up immediately, and uses the handrail to lever the top open. The policeman jumps into the elevator. It turns out that the policeman survived the zombie's attack and ran back here, but he was bitten by a zombie and got infected. He will eventually turn one of those zombies. The policeman takes out a picture of him and his wife, sharing the happy moments of his family with Claudio. The policeman tells Claudio that he feels sorry that he ignored his wife, because he was too focused on his work. He should have spent more time with his family, though his wife never complained. Hearing this, Claudio feels ashamed of his cheating. He hasn't been home for a while, because he's too occupied not by his work, but by other women's hormones. He feels sorry for his wife, but he will never have the chance to say sorry to her. The policeman reloads the gun, and hands it to Claudio. He wants Claudio to shoot him before he turns into a zombie, tearing him the misery. It would be too late if that happens and he loses his mind. Even though Claudio is unwilling to do it, he accepts the gun. Shortly after, the policeman turns into a zombie, and begins to attack Claudio. Claudio has no choice but to kill him. Claudio realizes he is injured during the fight. He ties the wound with his tie and hopes he doesn't get infected. Outside of the doors, the zombies are still trying to get him. Claudio has run out of energy. Just then, his phone rings again. To his surprise, it is from his wife. It turns out that his wife didn't die and was saved by some soldiers. This is great news. Claudio has some hope again. He steps on the policeman's fat body and tries to reach out and clear the debris that is stuck at the top of the doors. Then he uses the handrail to pry the debris away. Finally, he manages to open the doors and climb out. It shows that the hallway is full of dead bodies. He walks out of the building and into the street, shocked by what is in front of him. The street is a mess. There is blood and bodies everywhere. While he is walking past a bridge, a zombie suddenly gets up and tries to bite him. Claudio doesn't have a weapon. He only has a bottle of milk in his hand that he just picked up on the road. Claudio is going to fight the zombie with the bottle. Just then, the zombie is shot in the head by soldiers on the roof of a building. It turns out that the army has arrived in the city and has everything under control. Claudio waves at the soldiers and cries for help. In the end, he is rescued by the soldiers. In the end scene, the title of the movie, The End, shows on the screen with a question mark, indicating that nobody knows this catastrophe has really come to an end or not. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.